I was kind of perplexed when I first came here. I was really excited to hear people tell stories, but my deal is most of the stories I tell aren't true. You see, I don't drink, and I don't smoke, and I don't like have sex with strangers, so like I have this really boring life, and I try to buy interesting shoes to like compensate for it, but really what I do is I tell stories that go nowhere. So, but this led to a true story and me being caught. So I'm at a wedding, and this is 4th of July weekend. And it was this beautiful wedding. It's up in Maine. We had to drive 9 hours to go to the middle of nowhere, and like we're really excited to see fireworks, but apparently they were everywhere else but where we were. But the wedding is with no one I know, so I'm like really excited. I get to try all new material. So I end up going to the bachelor party because like what do you do when you don't know anyone? You try to sneak in with where all the other guys are going. And I've never been to a bachelor party, but apparently this was really tame. It just involved a tub full of beer and cable TV. But what was great was that, you know, it wasn't like a male exclusive thing, so there were all these other girls there, and like, I mean, you know, for some reason I like talking to girls more than guys. Maybe explains the pink phone and the interesting shoes. But I start talking to this girl, and we start talking about what she's into, and like we start talking about like dance, and I just started taking these dance classes, and I'm like really excited that I actually can go somewhere and not step on girls' feet, and like there's a lot of girl references in here. Anyway, I start telling her how I normally just tell stories that I make up, and she's like, oh my god, you should totally play a trick on my sister. And I was like, you know what, I should. And her sister's like across the room, and like, you know, I'm like, okay, tell me all about her. And she's like, okay, well she went to this high school, and she ran track, and like, you know, she did this, and she was into that. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna leave just for 5 minutes, and your sister is gonna ask you about this guy that you sat down and were talking to and was making you laugh for no apparent reason. And I leave, and it actually happens, which is crazy because guys don't know what women do. But it happens, and she says, yeah, that guy, he totally went to high school with you. He ran track with you for like 2 years. You don't recognize him? And like I come back in, and then like all of a sudden I'm getting all these sideways glances, and I feel so awesome. So like I don't even go up and talk to her because I know I could at this point, and it could be so great, but I just want to let it build. I want to let it soak in because I could get caught so easily. She could ask me any teacher's name, and I would have no clue. But what's super great is I keep talking to her sister, and I keep talking to all these other people, and then this girl comes up to me and just goes, did you go to school with her? God, she doesn't really recognize you at all. She's asking everyone who you are. And I'm like, yeah, I went to with her. Maybe it's the glasses. I look different when I go like this. And she's like, no. So like I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and eventually I'm sitting next to her. And like I'm sitting on a bed, so I'm feeling all sorts of like hip and cool and fucking great. And I look over at her and I'm like, you don't remember me at all, do you? And she like laughs and she's like, no. And I'm really sorry. And then we start talking, and she's like, what, where were you in high school? I was like, well, I was quiet, I was shy, you know, I had a personality explosion after high school. And you know, she was like totally going with it, and like, you know, we're like really excited all of a sudden because like, oh my god, where were you at the reunion? And like, oh, do you remember this person, and that person died, and this person still sucks, and all those preppy girls who made us feel really bad, now they're all fat. In a totally ugly way. But you were not fat. But here's the best part. The best part is, everyone knows each other at this wedding besides me. And everyone went to high school together. So everyone thinks that I went to high school with them. And it is incredible. The groom comes up to me. I've met him once. Like, and it was just a, hey, how are you doing? And he's like, oh my god, Dan, we need to talk about high school. I'm so glad you're here. This is so great. But the moment of truth comes when we're at the wedding, and I'm so super excited because I'm like ready to play the game some more. And her sister and she are coming down, and she's got this evil look in her eyes. She's like seeing daggers for me through and through. And I go up to her and I was like, you told her, didn't you? And she goes, yeah, and it's so great! And you know what? She was right.